Hi everyone, welcome to my channel, back into Dillon's Den, and today we've got the next parts of the Fanhome release of the Darth Vader build, issues 3 to 5. Okay then guys, issue number 3, let's take a look into this. And we can see there's more interesting stuff about Star Wars, starting off with Kylo Ren, and a bit about Jabba the Hutt. But we're going to go through past this and see what we're building today. And we are continuing the helmet. Looks like we've got some more decorative pieces and some internals as well to be popping in. And it looks like we are starting from the neck piece from the previous issues and putting in all the internals of the neck piece. And finally, the bit is putting on the second half of the helmet. So let's get building. Okay. So here is pack 3. Let's get this open. And here we go. Okay then, so we do need the neck section from the previous issue. So we'll just pop the head section away and we'll keep all of this neck piece. And first thing we want to be doing, I'll just grab all the pieces off from the last issue first. Okay. So first thing we need to be doing is we're going to be filling in the grill section. So we need this metal mesh first. I'm just going to slide that into this section, and that's just going to just lie there just for a second. Next up, we need the plastic piece, and we want it to be going in this orientation. And finally, we are going to be getting the voice synthesizer into place. And we're just going to direct the cable down. Just like that. Now, next up, we have got a motion sensor. So it's going to be interesting to see what this does when it's fully assembled. So looks like it's going to be a very interactive model. I'm just going to uncoil this and we're going to slide this in just above the voice synthesizer into a smaller hole on the upper left. I'm just making sure there are no tape that we needed to remove, but it's looking like there isn't. And that cable does look like it's in good nick. So always checking the cables that we get with these, make sure they're not split or pulled apart. As you can see that. I'm just going to leave that for now. You can see the smaller circle. This is where this sensor is going to go. And because none of it's held in just yet, it is a bit tricky. But yeah, we're just going to pop that in. Yep. So we are good here. We're going to pop this one back in. I'm going to try to hold that whilst I position these cables where they need to go. And there is 2 little pins on the right corner where the cable for the sensor needs to be pushed into. Yeah, you do need a lot of patience with this stage of the build. It did test me a few times. So you can see them 2 pins, and we're just going to slide that in between. It just needs a little bend, and it should go in just like that. Okay then, so once you're at that stage, it's time to start fitting parts from this issue. So first up, I'm just going to remove this because it's not secured in place just yet, and it's just going to keep falling out. I don't know why they told us to do that bit first, really. Anyway, so first up, we have got some internal neck meshes to install, and as you can see, you have kind of marked out a section to follow on both sides. So we are going to start from here. I'm just going to follow this all the way around best we can, and same on the other side. So here is one of the meshes. It is just on some double-sided tape. So I'm just going to remove the backing. And we're going to get this into position. Now once you've done that, it will look something like this. Push it down, make sure it's fully stuck down into place. Lovely. That's looking well. So we're going to do exactly the same now on the other side. Okay, so that's the backing removed. And we're just going to get this into position. And so again, just follow it around and push it down in place when you're happy. Okay, so next up, we are doing the voice synthesizer. So we've got these 2 studs, which are just going one at either side. And they do just pushing. And I believe if they are a bit loose, you can use a bit of super glue. But touch wood, up to now, I've not had to use any. Everything's been pretty snug and tight with this build. Apart from this bit. Okay, and the second stud in the other side. And now we've got some internal connectors, which is going to go either side of this. And if you look, there is a bigger one, and they do go down in size. So it did take me a while to figure out which way around you actually want it to go. But it's the smaller end to the bottom, and the bigger end will just sit on the top near where the studs are. So we're just going to slide that in into position, and we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. Okay then. Now it's time to fit it to the neck guard, not the neck piece. So we're just going to bring that back over, and we are going to do steps 1 and 2 again, because this synthesizer is going to secure all the grills and the sensor into position. So just like we did at the beginning of this video, we are just going to place all this together piece by piece. And like I said earlier on, it is a bit fiddly with these cables. But essentially they both just want to come all the way down to the base of the neck. And to make it a little bit easier, just so it's not springing everywhere, I'm just going to push one end through one of these holes, and hopefully that will just make this a bit easier. And now time for the voice synthesizer, and that's going to go in that bigger hole there, and that cable is just going to come straight down. And same again, I am going to tuck this into one of these holes just to hopefully make it a bit easier. Okay then, so now it's time to fit this, and as you can see on the inside there is a circular section, and that is going to go onto that little speaker, which is the voice synthesizer. That's going to hold it all into place. But when we're doing this, we want to be careful to trap none of the wires, and you'll see 2 little notches just where the screws are going to be fitted, and that's where the cables should come out. Okay, and that is going to be held in with 2 Type-C screws. There we go. So just make sure you're happy with it before putting in the screws, and you're happy with them cabling. And there's just 1 screw in this side, and we've got 1 on the other side as well. So once you're happy with that, that is that bit complete. So next up we are starting the mouthpiece studs. Now it's just taking these 2 sections, just putting them together. There is 2 of these today. There's a left and a right side. Next up, we're just going to pop this into this section here, which is DV0308. This is like the channel for all the cables to go in. So next up, we've got 2 of these cables here. Well, they're meant to resemble cables, and they're just meant to line up and push just underneath each one, just like this. Now there is different ways you can do this. It took me ages to realise which way around these cables actually go. So it's DV03, 08 and 09, and it can be fairly tricky. But after about half an hour, I realised this is what they should look like. So I have done the second side, so I've done the left and the right side now, and as you can see, they should be like in the same angle at the end, if you will. And then the next part is to get this into the neck piece, and this bit was also tricky, trying to find out how it actually lies. Seen other people and everyone it's slightly different, but I'm doing it this way. I'm going to put the second one in as well. And I did actually reference this with a Darth Vader picture off the internet, and it looked as close as to what I could get it. And once you're happy, make sure they pushed in, and you should have something like this. Hey, I was so relieved at this point. Okay, so next up, we've just got these decorative sections for the helmet, for the helmet face piece, and we're just putting this stud into the end of this triangle section, and then that is going to go. There's some studs which line up with the holes on the main unit, and they just attach to one another. And they were a little bit stiff for me. And yeah, I'll just taking my time, so I don't want to break these studs. But they are a tight fit, so once you do get them in, don't feel you're going to really take them out without breaking it. So I have not needed any glue whatsoever. There we go. Relief. And we're going to do exactly the same on the other side. So stud in this side, and then we're going to get that secured. If we can actually get it in. There we go. Same again, we're just going to click this onto the left side. Okay then, so next up, we do have some more these rods to input, and this time it's on the upper section of the mask. And there's a left and a right, and they just pretty much line up and push into place. If you don't drop stuff all the time like me. Okay then, so next up we've got the helmet. And we're just going to line it all up together. And it's going to be secured with 2 tight B screws. There we go. And we're just going to secure that now with the 2 screws. And that is issue 3 finally complete. Tell you, that took it out of me, that one. Okay then guys, so issue number 4. So like Darth Maul, yes. Proper Sith. Okay then, so like you can see, loads more interesting stuff about the Star Wars movies. And today we are doing more of the helmet and like the chest panel. So we are doing some of the mesh for the neck, working on that part, and starting on the control panel of his chest. So it looks pretty straightforward compared to issue 3. So let's get this package open. Okay then, so first up we're going to take this black section here, which is going to form the neck piece, and we are going to line this section of the mesh, and as you can see with the holes, it just pretty much mirrors the holes on that section. And we've got some connectors here, and these 2 pegs are going to push in to the 2 holes just on the top, and that's going to pin the mesh into place. Just like that. Next up, we are going to take this washer. We're going to take one of these type D screws, and we are going to secure that in this section just here. But they do supply this Allen key, but it's not the best. Can be really fiddly. And then we do have 2 studs which go in the middle of the connector, and they do just push in. But they are pretty pointy, so you can niggle your thumbs a little bit. There we go. And we're going to do exactly the same now on the other side. So mesh, connector, washer, a type D screw, and 2 studs. It seems too easy, this one, compared to issue 3. Okay, and once you've done that, that's it for the neck piece for this issue. So, moving on now to the control panel, or the chest panel, and we are just going to line these control panel switches just on these sections here, and this middle one is slightly different, so you can't tell them apart, and that one is just going to click into this middle section just here. And that is this issue complete. Okay then guys, so issue number 5. So as you can see, there's more interesting Star Wars storylines and other little good interesting stuff. In this issue we are focusing on the helmet and the chest panel. So you can see we're going to be adding more switches to the chest panel, and we are moving our way back to the neck and putting on some more neck connectors with them studs. And looks like we've got the magnet for the helmet as well. So nice and straightforward it looks like. So let's get this on the way. And here is the pack. Looks a lot smaller now, doesn't it? Okay, so we're going to get the chest piece back. And we're going to get this control panel. And that's just going to line up in between the buttons that we installed previously. And that's just going to click into place. But same again, it does say if any of these are a bit loose, you can use a drop of glue just to secure them in place. But as you can see, it's tight. And we're going to secure that with a type G screw in the back. And once you're happy, I'm just going to use a better screwdriver. Just going to nip that up. There we go. And it will look like that. No need for any glue for me. But one of my pegs did snap actually, so we're just double checking just to make sure it's adequate. So moving on to the neck piece, I'm going to take another connector, and just like we did in the previous issue, we're just going to click it into place. Grab one of these washers and a type D screw. But I do have a piece for my screwdriver rather than using the Allen key. Just find it a bit easier. There we go. Just going to double check that one. You can get them a little bit tighter with these screwdrivers. And then, yeah, it's the pegs, or the studs, whatever you want to call them. I'm just going to push them in, just like we did with the top one. But my fat fingers just don't like these small fiddly things. Yeah, this one just weren't playing, so feel free to enjoy me struggling away. But I'd leave it in for your entertainment. Okay. So we're going to do exactly the same now on the other side. So connector. There you go. And we're going to grab your last washer and another type D screw. It is. So one starts nice and tight, 2 more studs. Let's hope we can get them in first time, eh? There's one. And 2. Okay then, so moving on to the internal part of the helmet, and we have got this internal metal disc, and that's just going to go into this casing, just like that. Next up, we have got this mounting piece, which is just going to secure the 2 sections together, and it's held in place with 2 type E screws, one in either side. There is one going in here, and then one the opposite side as well. Okay then. But next up, we are going to bring the helmet back, and we're just going to line it in place and secure it with 4 type F screws. It's just one in each corner. And we want this nice and snug, because I believe this is going to have a magnet on the top of the head. So this is going to be held together to the head with a magnet and this metal bracket. So yeah, obviously you want it nice and tight so this doesn't come apart. So get all 4 in, nice and snug. Okay then, so once you've done that, we're just going to take the front face, and we've got 4 of these grills to pop on. And we want to make sure that the grills are facing downwards, and they are marked up. Oh, that was one of the eyes. I did put it in there for safekeeping so it don't get scratched, but I'll just take the other one out now so I don't end up scratching that. So it is 1 in each of these squares. Can't go wrong. You have got a little notch out in different sides, so you can't put the wrong one in the wrong hole. So it's just a case of marrying it all up and clicking them all into position. And I couldn't really tell where this one we're going. I think it's that piece. I'll do this one first, and then I know where that piece will go then. There's only one more. Hey, let's have a look. Yeah, I think issue 3 just like done me head in a little bit. And I'm just... Okay, yes, that one's going in this part here. That was right first time. Okay then. When it starts to click in. There we go. And obviously the last one's just going to go in this part here. And now we can actually see where it lines up. Anyway, that's this issue now complete. Wow, there were some tricky bits in that, weren't there? But look at that. I have popped his eyes in for now. They do just push in. Yeah, I thought I'd just stick them in just for safekeeping. And yeah, like the helmet as well when that sits on. Look, brilliant, fantastic. And obviously there's the neck piece and the part of the control panel that we've started as well. So yeah, it's been good. Been the fiddliest part work I've had for quite a while, that I will admit. But yeah, I'm enjoying it. Hopefully no more tricky bits though. So until next time, I'll see you guys soon.